Hello. So today we are going to discuss about a new topic, and the topic name is molar conductivity at infinite dilution. Okay, which can be indicated as lambda m0 or lambda m infinity. Clear? So we are going to discuss in detail about molar conductivity at infinite dilution. The indication is lambda m0 or lambda m infinity. Another name is same, limiting molar conductivity. Limiting molar conductivity. Clear? So both the meaning is same. You say molar conductivity at infinite dilution or limiting molar conductivity. Now first we'll understand what do you mean by infinite dilution. So we'll see this. See, if I take certain volume, let volume in ml, and if I take lambda m, and if I take concentration C, you know when I do you know that lambda m is inversely proportional to what? Lambda m is proportional to volume, because as the volume increases, means on dilution, volume is increasing, lambda m is also increasing, and concentration means inversely proportional to volume. Clear? So we'll do certain experiment, and the experiment value shows that when there was 10 ml of electrolyte, suppose lambda m value I got, that was 230. Clear? And at that point concentration was 0.5. Suppose at that time concentration was 0.5. Now at infinite dilution means I have to go on adding the water or adding the solution. So if I do 10 ml to 20 ml, means I have increased my volume. So this lambda m will also increase, so it will be nearly 240. But you know that concentration is inversely proportional to volume, so at increasing of the volume, concentration will decrease. Say concentration decrease to 0.4. Clear? Then I have added another 10 ml, say I got for 30 ml. So my lambda m value will be increased because it is directly proportional, so I got the value of 248 suppose. But concentration will decrease, say 0.3. Clear? Then I have added 40 ml. When on adding 40 ml, again this lambda m will be increasing to 255 suppose, but this concentration will decrease, say 0.1. Clear? Say if I go for 50 ml, the value I got is here 260, but the concentration was 0 here because the volume is increasing to a very higher value, so concentration will decrease because concentration is inversely proportional to volume. I am going on increasing the volume, so decreasing the concentration, means at one point one volume will come where the concentration will tends to become 0. Tends to become 0 means almost nearly equal to 0. Now what happened? Now whenever the concentration becomes 0, so what I observed, again I increase 60 ml, again I increase the 10 ml, the value of molar conductivity remains constant, that was 260 only, it would not increase. Why it has not increased? Because the concentration was 0. Again I increased to 70 ml, the molar conductance remains same, that is 260, concentration 0, 80 ml, 260, concentration 0. So on this value of volume is known as infinite dilution. This value of volume is known as a what? Infinite dilution. So what do you mean by the molar conductivity at infinite dilution? Means the molar conductance value at 0 concentration, the molar conductance value at 0 concentration is known as molar conductivity at infinite dilution. Clear? Understood? That molar conductance value, lambda m value at what? When the concentration approaches to 0. Means when concentration will tends to 0, approaches to 0, the value of lambda m is equal to lambda m naught. Why here 0? Because here 0 concentration, that's why 0. Or we can say lambda m infinity, that is infinite dilution. So this value From 50 ml, all the values are considered to be the infinite dilution. This is the meaning of infinite dilution. Clear? That molar conductivity, see after the infinite dilution, you see the molar conductivity value remains constant because the concentration approaches to what? 0. So what do we mean by molar conductance? At infinite dilution, molar conductance at infinite dilution means the value of molar conductance at concentration 0. So you can say that molar conductance at infinite dilution means value of molar conductance at concentration at 0 concentration. Clear? So this can be your definition basic. That is when C concentration approaches to 0, tends to 0, the value of lambda m, that is molar conductance, is known as molar conductance at infinite dilution. Once more I repeat that molar conductance at infinite dilution or limiting molar conductivity means that the value of molar conductance at 0 concentration is known as molar conductance at infinite dilution or limiting molar conductivity Understood? Clear? See, initially I have added here 10 ml. The lambda m value was 230 and the concentration was 0.5. Now as you know, lambda m is directly proportional to V, but concentration is inversely proportional to V. So as I increase my volume, lambda m will increase, but concentration will decrease. So as I go on increasing my volume, concentration will decrease. One point will come where the concentration will tends to become 0. At that point, the value of lambda m is known as a what? Lambda m naught, that is limiting molar conductivity. And after that, how much amount of value you add in the volume, the lambda m value remains constant. So here this value is known as a what? Lambda m naught. This value is known as a what? Lambda m naught. Understood the meaning of infinite dilution? Clear? So what do you mean by infinite dilution? That is molar conductivity at infinite dilution or limiting molar conductivity is defined as the value of molar conductance, that is lambda m, at what? At 0 concentration. At 0 concentration. Clear this part? Okay. So I hope you written this. Now we'll discuss the relationship. Clear? Now see here. So we have to understand the limiting molar conductivity for strong electrolyte and as well as for the weak electrolyte. Once more I repeat that we have to now understand the limiting molar conductivity for strong electrolyte and for weak electrolyte. You know that for strong electrolyte, okay, so what happens here on dilution, there is a dissociation, is complete dissociation. Okay, and for this value lambda m increases, you know this, and for this value lambda m increases. And similarly for weak electrolyte, what happens that on dilution there is a incomplete dissociation. For that also lambda m increases. Now what is the basic difference between them? Here the value of lambda m increases due to ions only. You know this. Everything I have been discussed in the previous video. But here the lambda m is increasing due to ions as well as the molecule. Unbroken or undissociated molecule. We have seen the example of CH3COOH. For example, if I have 10 CH3COOH, out of 10 only 2 will get break, that is 2 CH3COO minus plus 2H plus, but 8 CH3COOH remains same. So here the conductance will be increasing, that is lambda m will increase due to these two ions also and due to this molecule also. So here the increasing of lambda m is due to two things, due to ions as well as due to the undissociated molecule. Clear? here the strong electrolyte. So as and when I add to water to the strong electrolyte, they will get completely dissociate. So here also lambda m increases due to ions only. Clear? But now we have to study the relation between the lambda m and lambda m naught. So what is the relation that? So please understand. There is one equation which has been given. The relation between lambda m and C. Okay, you know here molar conductance get changed, concentration also get changed, but the molar conductance infinite dilution is constant, because just now we have seen there that the value of 260 was constant. Clear? So the equation is lambda m equal to lambda m naught minus a root C. So this is the one relation which is given for the molar conductance, and for the molar conductance is infinite dilution and concentration C. Clear? So if I write down this equation as minus a root C plus lambda m naught. So if I focus this equation is similar to y equal to mx plus C. You can see here. This equation is similar to what? Y equal to mx plus C, and slope is negative. So when I plot the graph of lambda m, that is molar conductance versus root C, because on x-axis what it is coming? Root C. Now the question comes, why as a root C? This is an equation, okay, you have to remember this, that the relation between lambda m and C, it is given by this equation, that is lambda m equal to lambda m naught minus a root C. If I rearrange and if I write in this way, I get the equation as lambda m equal to minus a root C plus lambda m naught. Now this equation is similar to the equation of straight line, that is y equal to mx plus C. So on y-axis what value will come? Lambda m. And on x-axis what value will come? Root C. And here the slope is negative. And whenever the slope is negative, so line will come in this way. Straight line will come on the slanting position. Clear? Because your slope is negative. Clear? So line will come in this way. Now what happens? Now we started to plot the graph for the strong electrolyte. As and when I started to plot the graph for strong electrolyte, I got this way graph. This graph I got. Okay, because you know that as and when I decrease the concentration, yes or no, as and when I decrease the concentration, lambda m will increase. As and when we know that, see, lambda m is inversely proportional to what? See, just now only we have seen, no, that on increasing the dilution, concentration will decrease, but volume will increase, yes or no? So you know that on dilution, volume will increase, yes or no? So concentration will decrease, means lambda m will also increase. So what is the relation between C and lambda m? The relation between lambda m C is inversely, that is lambda m is inversely proportional to C. So as and when I decrease the concentration, how can I decrease the concentration? By adding the volume. So as and when I decrease the concentration, lambda m will increase. So see here, when I obtain the graph for the strong electrolyte, according to this graph, I got the graph of the straight line. So I got this graph. So this graph is for strong electrolyte. This graph is for strong electrolyte. Clear? So when I plotted the graph of y equal to minus mx plus C by taking some strong electrolyte, calculating their lambda m naught and the root C value, I obtained the graph of this straight line. And when I extrapolated this graph, I got the value here. Clear? So I got the intercept. I got what? Intercept. Now see, this intercept is at the concentration where? 0 concentration, because here the value will be 0, 0. And here the axis, which axis is 0? Concentration is 0. And you know at 0 concentration the value of lambda m is not known as a what? Lambda m naught. At 0 concentration the value of lambda m is known as a what? Lambda m naught. See here, there is a one relation between lambda m and C. So I got this relation. You have to remember this relation, that is lambda m equal to lambda m naught minus a root C. When I rearrange the term, that is lambda m equal to minus a root C plus lambda m naught. And when I compare this equation with y equal to mx plus C, so I got to know that this equation resembles to the straight line equation. So I understood that this graph, when I plot this graph, I will get the straight line. So I have plotted the graph that is on the y-axis lambda m and on x-axis root c. And I started to do the reaction by taking the strong electrolyte. So I obtained the straight line. So I obtained this straight line. So this line is for strong electrolyte. Now what I have done? I have done this straight line, I have extrapolated. When I extrapolated this straight line, I got the intercept on the y-axis. Means this graph has cut the y-axis here. This graph has cut here. Now if you measure here the y-axis value I will get. Here I will get some y-axis value. But here the x-axis value will be what? 0. Here on this point I will get certain y value I will get. Yes or no? I will get y value. Some certain y value I will get. But for the 0, for the x-axis value I will get what? 0. And then on x-axis what value is 0? Concentration is 0. Means I am obtaining this value. I am obtaining this value at 0 concentration. I am obtaining this value at 0 concentration. Means y-axis is which? Y-axis is lambda m. That is molar conductivity. So I am obtaining the molar conductivity at which concentration? 0 concentration. So this value will give me the molar conductivity at 0 concentration. Yes or no? This value, this point is giving me molar conductivity, because this is line is for molar conductivity. So this value is giving me the molar conductivity at 0 concentration. This value is giving me what? Molar conductivity at 0 concentration. And you know that molar conductivity at 0 concentration is nothing but what? Lambda m naught. So this value is what? Lambda m naught, that is limiting molar conductivity. So I obtained the value of limiting molar conductivity of strong electrolyte by using this graph. So I obtained the limiting molar conductivity of what? Of strong electrolyte by using this graph and using this equation. Clear? Understood? Yes or no? Once more I will repeat. This is the relation between lambda m and lambda m naught and concentration C. Rearrange, I got the straight line, and when I plotted the straight line, when I plotted the graph, I got this straight line. Okay, when I extrapolated the graph, got intercept on y-axis. So now I got value here. So here this value, here what I will obtain? Here the x-axis will be 0 and y-axis some value will be there. Means here x-axis is 0. So come to the x-axis. Who is on the x-axis? Concentration. Means here concentration is 0. And I obtain the y value. Who is on the y value? Lambda m. So we know that at 0 concentration, the value of lambda m is known as limiting molar conductivity or molar conductivity at infinite dilution, that is lambda m naught. Yes or no? So here at 0 concentration, this lambda m value obtained is known as what? Lambda m naught. So here value I obtained lambda m naught for what? For strong electrolyte. For strong electrolyte. Clear? So I got one conclusion that I can obtain the lambda m naught value. I can obtain the lambda m naught value for strong electrolyte by using this graph method. I got to know that I can obtain the lambda m naught value for strong electrolyte by using this equation and this graphical method. Now what I have done, I went for the strong electrolyte. I went for the weak electrolyte. Now we will do the same experiment by taking here weak electrolyte. So as and when I taken the weak electrolyte, initially when I decrease the concentration, the value of lambda m got decreased. But this graph I obtained. Okay, this graph is for what? Weak electrolyte. Okay, no? So what I have done, now I am taking the weak electrolyte and I am putting in this value. I am doing the experiment by taking weak electrolyte. I obtain the certain values of lambda m. I obtain the certain value of C. So I obtain what? I obtain the value of root C and lambda m for weak electrolyte by doing the experiment. I obtain the graph in this manner. When I extrapolated the graph of weak electrolyte, the graph becomes steep. The graph becomes steep. It could not take the intercept. We could not obtain the intercept for what? Weak electrolyte. Now see here, for strong electrolyte, when I have taken the values of lambda m and c, I got the graph of straight line by using this equation. And when I extrapolated for the strong electrolyte, I obtained the intercept on y-axis. So I could determine the value of lambda m naught. Now I thought I will do the same experiment of taking this equation by taking weak electrolyte. So when I obtain the values of lambda m and root c for the weak electrolyte by taking this equation, I could not get the straight line. My graph was curve. And when I extrapolated this curve, I obtained a line parallel to the y-axis. Means I could not obtain the intercept. The intercept was not obtained. The intercept was not obtained for weak electrolyte. Yes or no? Why? Because if it will cut, see a strong electrolyte has cut on the y-axis. So I could get the lambda m naught. So I could get the intercept. But here the weak electrolyte experiment says what? Initially it is decreasing. Finally, when on increasing the value, on decreasing the concentration, at one value it remains constant and it goes on becoming the strip. Finally it becomes the parallel with the y-axis. When it becomes the parallel with the y-axis at a very high dilution also, means this line will never cut. This line will never cut to this y-axis, means intercept was not obtained. For what? For weak electrolyte. Means when intercept is not obtained, so I cannot get lambda m naught value. Therefore lambda m naught cannot be obtained by this method. So final conclusion is this, that lambda m naught cannot be obtained for weak electrolyte by using this method. Which method? This method. Means this method is only possible to give the lambda m naught value for strong electrolyte, because for strong electrolyte graph is straight line, and on extrapolating we are obtaining the intercept, and intercept value itself is giving lambda m naught value. But the same graph, if you are plotting for the weak electrolyte, initially only the graph becomes the curve, and on the extrapolating the graph is becoming steep or becoming parallel to the y-axis. When it becomes parallel to the y-axis, it will not get intercept, means it will not cut anywhere, it will not cut y-axis. Who? Weak electrolyte. When it will not cut the y-axis, means we cannot obtain the lambda m naught value. So by this method we cannot obtain the lambda m naught value for the weak electrolyte. Only we can obtain for the strong electrolyte. So now who will help to obtain the lambda m naught value for this weak electrolyte? Kohler's law. Who will help? Kohler's law. That's why Kohler's law comes in the picture or comes in this chapter. Because if lambda m naught value for weak electrolyte we would have obtained by this method, then Kohler's law will not come. Why? What is the use? No use. But this experiment tells us that lambda m naught value only can be determined by this method for strong electrolyte, because here intercept for strong electrolyte it is obtained, whereas for the weak electrolyte we cannot obtain the intercept because the graph is curve. And on infinite dilution, on adding the water, on increasing the volume, finally the graph becomes steep. Steep means what? It becomes parallel to the y-axis. When it becomes parallel to the y-axis, it could not obtain the intercept at y-axis. Means this graph for weak electrolyte will never cut to the y-axis. It will never cut to the y-axis, means lambda m naught value cannot be obtained, or the value at zero concentration for weak electrolyte can never be obtained by this method. But we have to calculate lambda m naught value for weak electrolyte. So who will give the lambda m naught value for the weak electrolyte? So the Kohler's law has come in this chapter. So Kohler's law is the law which is used to determine the limiting molar conductance or conductivity for the weak electrolyte. So Kohler's law, what is the use for the Kohler's law? Kohler's law is used to obtain the lambda m naught value for weak electrolyte. Kohler's law, that's why comes in this chapter, that Kohler's law only will help us to get the value of lambda m naught for weak electrolyte only. Also we can determine the lambda m naught value for the strong electrolyte using the Kohler's law. But by this method we cannot obtain the lambda m naught value for weak electrolyte. We can only obtain the value of strong electrolyte. Clear? So when we cannot obtain the lambda m naught value for weak electrolyte, that's why Kohler's law has come to give the value of lambda m naught value for strong electrolyte as well as for weak electrolyte. Now we will discuss certain things about this A. This A is this A. Okay. Now what is this A? So I hope first you write down this, then I will write down certain story for this A. This A is constant, yes or no? See here, y equal to mx plus c. This m is slope, yes or no? And slope is negative, that's why this line has come in the downward side. Clear? So what is this A? So we'll discuss this A. Write down, take a screenshot. Clear? Okay. So remember this. Okay, I hope you taken the take a screenshot. Chalo. Okay. See here. So now see here, this A. So first you can say the value of A, this A, value of A is depend on what? Is first of all the value of A is depend on temperature. Okay, it's also depend on type of solvent. Okay, on type of solvent, and one thing more, it also depend upon the type of electrolyte. Depend upon the type of electrolyte. Please remember, this A is slope and this A is slope, no? See here, M is slope here, so A is slope here. So the value of A depends upon the temperature, type of solvent and type of electrolyte. So what is this type of electrolyte? Suppose if you say, so NaCl and KCl. Yes or no? See, this is the same type of electrolyte. Why? Because here if you say Na plus Cl minus, here if you say that is K plus Cl minus, so here it is 1:1 ratio. Okay, so A value for these two will be same. So A value will be same for same type of electrolyte. Which type of electrolyte? See here, NaCl, break it, Na plus Cl minus. Here KCl means K plus Cl minus. So here 1:1, 1:1. So A value will be same for these two. Or same type of electrolyte. If one more, if I take LiCl. So LiCl will be what? Li plus Cl minus. Okay. Yes or no? So the value of that, here also ratio is 1:1 only, no? Here also ratio is 1:1. So for LiCl, NaCl and KCl, value of A will be same because they are same type of electrolyte in terms of the number of ions produced. Second, another example, if I take BeCl2 and MgCl2, suppose, chalo. So here what I got Be plus 2 and Cl minus. To balance here I have to put 2 ions here. So Mg plus 2 and I have put here 2. So 2 here. So here 1:2 ratio, here also 1:2 ratio. So for these two electrolyte also K value will be same. Yes or no? So remember that K value will be same. So here I write down K. Yes or no? Here also 1:2 ions. Here also 1:2 ions. So value of A, sorry, not K. Value of A, this A will be same for these two because they are same type of electrolyte. Same type means in terms of ions. Here also if you say the value of A will be same for 3. Why value will be same of value of A will be same for the 3? Because they are same type of electrolyte in number of ions producing. See here also number of ions is 1:1, 1:1, here 1:1. But here the ions are 1:2 because I have to balance, no? So when 1 Be plus 2 will be produced, 2 Cl minus will be produced. So here 1:2 ratio, here also 1:2 ratio, means A value will be same for these two also. Similarly 1:3 ratio, 1:4. Okay, so A value will be same for same type of electrolyte. For same type of electrolyte, and here same type of electrolyte meaning is what? The same type of electrolyte meaning is same means what? Same number of ions. Yes, same number of ions. So A value will be same for same type of electrolyte, and same type of electrolyte means number of ions. Clear this part? Okay. So I hope you understood this. Now based on this, we'll try to solve degree of dissociation. So next topic is degree of dissociation alpha. Okay, so you can write down the degree of dissociation method of calculating degree of dissociation for weak electrolyte. By using conductivity K. By using conductivity K, we will solve one problem also based on this. So write down that degree of dissociation, it is indicated as alpha, and the formula is lambda m by lambda m naught. Please remember this. Write down the definition. Chalo. Write down the definition. The degree of dissociation. Degree of dissociation. Write down definition. Degree of dissociation for weak electrolyte. Degree of dissociation for weak electrolyte is defined as the ratio of. Is defined as the ratio of. Is defined as the ratio of molar conductivity. Is defined as the molar conductivity. Is defined as the ratio of molar conductivity of the solution at given concentration. Molar conductivity of the solution at given concentration to the molar conductivity of the solution at infinite dilution. To the molar conductivity of the solution at infinite dilution. Please remember this, the definition of degree of dissociation. The degree of dissociation is indicated as alpha, and alpha means lambda m by lambda m naught. The definition you can make from here, that it is defined as the ratio of molar conductivity of the solution at given concentration to the molar conductivity of the solution at infinite dilution. Clear? Now from the equilibrium, you know that Ka equal to alpha square C upon 1 minus alpha. Therefore, Ka equal to alpha square means lambda m square by lambda m naught square into C divided by 1 minus lambda m by lambda m naught. Okay. Now what you do? See here, lambda m square by lambda m naught square into C. Here you can write down lambda m naught 0 minus lambda m by lambda m naught 0. I hope you understood because I have taken the LCM. Now here you can write down that lambda m square C and lambda m naught square multiply by this will get reciprocal, that is lambda m naught by lambda m naught minus lambda m. So this will get cancelled and you can obtain the value as lambda m square C by lambda m naught into lambda m naught minus lambda m. Clear? So in this way you can obtain the value of Ka, and the Ka formula is what? Lambda m square by C into lambda m naught minus lambda m. This is for the weak electrolyte. Clear? Clear this part? So now see here. I hope you have taken the screenshot. I'll go with the one numerical based on this. So write down that numerical. So we will solve one question based on this, that is the conductivity of 0.001028 mole per liter. Acetic acid is 4.95 10 to the power minus 5 Siemens per centimeter. So this is the given conductivity K. Okay, if the limiting molar conductivity, that is lambda m naught of acetic acid is 390.5 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse, calculate dissociation constant Ka. Just now we determine the value of Ka. Clear? So we will solve either by using that formula or by using the formula of alpha square C by 1 minus alpha, one and same. Clear? And alpha means what? Lambda m by lambda m naught. So first we will see the conductivity of 0.00 mole per liter, means concentration C is given. It is 0.001028 mole per liter is 495. Conductivity means K is 4.95 into 10 to the power minus 5 Siemens per centimeter. And see here, when K will come Siemens per centimeter, the value of formula should be used what? That is lambda m equal to K 1000 upon C. I hope you remembered when K is Siemens per centimeter. Last video only I told you the value of K, if it is given in Siemens per centimeter, use the formula as K into 1000 upon C. Clear? And the limiting molar conductivity, that is acetic acid, lambda m naught, limiting molar conductivity means at zero concentration, is 390.5 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse Ka. See here now. Clear? So I hope you understood this. See, just now you determine the value of Ka. We have used two formulas. The K form Ka, we have derived one equation. That equation was lambda m square C divided by lambda m naught into bracket lambda m naught minus lambda m. Just now you read down. Either you use this formula to determine Ka, or that is the basic formula also it will work. That is alpha square C by 1 minus alpha, 1 and same. You can calculate both the way, but I suggest you by using this method. It is very easy. That equation what I have derived, it's only for your MCQ 2 mark question. K either you can determine by this value, that is alpha square C by 1 minus alpha, or you can use that equation which you have just derived, that is lambda m square C divided by lambda m naught into bracket lambda m naught minus lambda m. Better you use this equation. Clear now? Where alpha is what? Degree of dissociation. So I will use this equation to determine Ka. Now what is your alpha? Alpha is nothing but what? Lambda m by lambda m naught. Yes or no? Alpha is nothing but what? Lambda m by lambda m naught. I have lambda m naught at infinite dilution, but I don't have lambda m. So lambda m is nothing but what? Molar conductivity. Yes or no? So molar conductivity formula is what? K into 1000 upon C. And why not K upon C? Because here K is given in what? Siemens per centimeter. If K is given here in meter, I would have used K upon C. But here K is given in Siemens per centimeter, so I am using K into 1000 upon C. Please remember this. I have told you in my previous video also. So what is the value of K? That is 4.95 into 10 to the power minus 5 into 1000 divided by concentration is 0.001028. If you solve this value, the lambda m value you will get, that is 48.15 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. So lambda m value you got that 48.15 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. Now what you determine? You determine what? Ka. So for Ka what we require? Alpha. What is the value for alpha? Alpha means nothing but what? Lambda m by lambda m naught. What is the value of lambda m? That is 48.15 divided by lambda m naught. How much they have given? 390.5. So answer I will get 390. Answer I will get 48.15 divided by 390.5. 0.12330. 0.12330. This I will get. Okay. So I got the value of alpha. Now what I determined? Ka. So Ka formula will be alpha square C by 1 minus alpha. What is the value of alpha? 0.1233 square. What is the value for concentration? 0.001028. What is the value for 1? Means 1 minus alpha values means what? Alpha I got is 0.12330. So dissociation constant answer will be, dissociation answer constant will be, see here, 0.1233, that is square, multiply by 0.001028. You get the answer as 0.000, sorry, 0.4 times 0. 1562857. 1562857 divided by 1 minus 0.12330. 0.8767. So 0.1562857 divided by 0.8767. You get the answer as 0.401786 mole per liter. And if you go for in the combined form, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1.7826 into 10 to power minus 5. Now see here, what can be the unit for Ka? See, alpha has no unit because it is a constant. Yes or no? Unitless. So alpha has no unit, means this also will have no unit. Only unit will be what? Only unit will be for what? C. See, alpha has no unit, so here also no unit. So only unit depend on what? C, and C unit is what? Mole per liter. So your answer is mole per liter. So many questions are given based on this. I hope you have understood. Now next class we will do Kohler's law, and based on that also we'll solve certain problems. Okay, here most of the part of the chapter, nearly 98% part of the chapter is completed. Okay, corrosion I will do in the next video. So in next video might be your last video for this chapter. If you have any doubt, please ask me directly, comment me. Clear? Thank you.